Okay, this is a brief introduction about the video that you're about to see by me, okay? Lots of things went wrong, more than you could imagine, okay? But I'm providing this as is, so that you can see it, okay? Now, first I'm going to show you the end result. I have eaten some of it, and I did show you me eating some of this on the video. I had problems with the scales not working properly because it wasn't on a kitchen surface. I had problems with the sieve not sifting the flour properly, and I decided to try and mix the butter in last of all, whereas usually you mix the butter in after you put the flour in. That meant the butter was rather lumpy. Off camera though you don't see this, I put the once I put the cake tins into the oven, I thought I'd take them out halfway through and stir it with a knife, because I felt the butter wasn't actually hadn't been mixed properly, and I thought if it had been cooked a bit I could then mix it a bit. As I was getting it out, a lot of the mixture went straight onto the table, came out of the oven as I was trying to pull it out. It poured straight onto the table, the actual kitchen table, while trying to get it out of the oven. So it went straight from the oven straight onto the oven glass and onto the table. It was in many ways a disaster, right? But I'm not used to doing this under pressure, while being filmed. But it's still edible, right? But nonetheless, what I did was I used most of Mary Berry's recipe, with the exception at the end I put icing sugar on, which Delia Smith recommends, rather than the caster sugar that Mary Berry recommends, okay? Anyway, I hope you enjoy the video you're about to see, and this is me cooking completely from scratch Victoria's sponge cake. Now, Victoria's sponge cake is a traditional British cake, I believe it's English, and it is quite popular in Britain, okay? And the name Victoria is actually named after Queen Victoria, because apparently she liked this type of cake, and for some reason they named it after her, I believe, right? I'd have to look up the entire story about it, and I'm too lazy at the moment, but there is a story about it, and it has something to do with Queen Victoria liking this particular cake, okay? So, there you go, guys, okay? Enjoy the video you're about to see, okay? Don't go away. Hello guys, and today I'm going to try and do some proper cooking for you guys, some proper baking. I'm going to try and bake something called Victoria's sponge, okay? Now, I'm going to use a combination of a couple of recipes. I'm going to use one for the main bit, and the other one I'm just going to put icing sugar on instead of caster sugar, okay? But I'm going to base this on Mary Berry's Victoria sandwich. Now, I have cooked and baked Victoria sandwich in the past, okay, and I've done it several times, okay, but I've not used this exact recipe, okay. I've used this recipe because it's accessible to you guys on the internet, okay. Now, right, now first, right, we've got to try and get the flour, okay? So, right now, so firstly, I'm now going to measure, weigh 225 grams. How much is it? 225 grams of self-raising flour, okay? So I've got some scales here, some electric scales, and I've put them on a plate. Things never work when you want them to. Okay, right, now I'm going to open up a packet of going to open a packet of self-raising flour. Okay. And I'm going to put this onto a plate initially, and because it's very hard to do what I'm doing, because the plates, it's messing up the weighing thing, because it's meant to be on a flat surface, but I can't do that and show you at the same time. I just can't. This stupid thing's not even weighing it. Why can't these things just do as they're bloody supposed to do? Oh, you bloody pig. Anyway, it's about half a bag, but it's not doing it properly, so I'm going to have to do this my own way, okay? Right. It's the whole thing for some reason would only work properly on a proper table, and I'm afraid I can't do this on a proper table for you guys, so I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to pour this into the bowl, even though it's not what I'm supposed to do at all, then pour it back out again. But I'm not really supposed to do this, okay? This is only because this stupid scales isn't working properly. Stupid scales aren't working properly, so, right. Right, I'll put it on a tray this time, hopefully that'll make it better. Okay, I'm going to do this by mathematics instead. Right, now, I'm going to weigh the plate. So it's perfect if it's on a real flat surface like a table, but I'm trying to do, you know, something that wasn't really supposed to do, so 550, right, so it's 550 for the plate. So now, plate, so 550, 775. Okay, so this should go up to about 775. I can't. Next time I'll just weigh it manually, and you know, you'll just have to take my word for it. It's the right way. Okay. I know this looks like a disaster, but I'm not used to doing things while trying to film it, you know? It's meant to be about half the bag anyway, so... I'm going to try and do the rest myself, because I think you get the idea, otherwise of course. Okay, I'm going to do slightly less than I'm supposed to, okay? Just in case I put too much in, okay? Let's always add some more in a minute. So what I'm going to do now is, that's a minus 14, that's 7. Now I shouldn't do this, but I'm going to pour it into the bowl and then pour it back out again. I shouldn't do this, but this is just so I can double check the weight of the 537, 537, 540, so it's about 540, 530, okay, so 730, so there's about 200 in here, so I'm going to put an extra 20 in. I know you can't see this because I'm too scared to do it on camera because it's so awkward. So I'm just showing you that I'm trying to, and that should hopefully be it now. Probably be a bit too much now. Yep, a bit too much. Okay. I'll put something back in. That looks about right now. Right. So now the scales say, if you're wondering what the scales actually look like, this is the electronic scales. You hold these two buttons down to switch it off. Hold the two buttons down, have to press both of them together to switch it on. And then you're supposed to put something on top of it to, you know, that you want, so that when it comes on it goes to 0, and now it should go roughly to 0. Okay? And that's how the scales work. But as I said, they're really designed to work on a kitchen top, not with me holding it on a bed or with me like trying to hold it up for you guys, okay? So here now I have the flour, okay? It's self-raising flour, okay? And also add a couple of teaspoons of baking powder, okay? So here I have some baking powder. I'm going to open it. I can't believe you have to get a knife out just to open a stupid thing like this. Right, okay. And now we have some baking powder in there, okay? Now, to this, I'm going to add 2 teaspoons, okay? Okay? So that is 2 teaspoons of baking powder, okay? I think that's what they told you to use, and I'll just double check it, okay? Yeah. Okay. the next thing, so I'm going to put that aside a minute. Now originally the bowl was meant to be completely empty, okay, but I had, because of all the trouble I had earlier with this stupid flour and trying to weigh the thing, now I'm going to sift the rest of the, I'm going to pour the rest of that flour back in, try and get it onto the plate. I'm honestly put it onto a plate, you have to take my word for this. Now, right, now we've got the plate with the self-raising flour on it and the baking powder, okay? Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to sift the flour, okay? So now I have a bowl and I have the okay. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a sieve and I'm going to put the sieve, I'm going to put the sieve on top of the bowl, and I'm going to now pour this baking powder and self-raising flour into the sieve, okay? And now I'm going to sift it all, okay? Now this might take some time, so a lot of this I may do off camera, okay? Just a minute. Seems like the sieve doesn't want to work now. It's a disaster and I haven't even done anything wrong. It's just because I've not got a proper setup kitchen, you know, which does all this rubbish. And because truthfully I've been using this sieve for other things, truthfully, like I've been using it as a colander to like put peas in and things, you know, after they've cooked. I've not really used this for proper baking, I don't think. Also got a plastic one because it's easier to wash and doesn't go rusty. So maybe it's not so good for this kind of thing, I don't know. I suppose you get what you pay for. So I got this cheaply from the market. It's amazing, things always work until I get a camera out, and when I try to do things on camera they never work, and I've done this many times in the past, but I think I used a metal sieve in the past, to be honest. Maybe I now know why they do it, because it actually works. Whereas this just doesn't seem to want to go through. It's taking too goddamn long. Okay, I've had enough. Right. I'm going to cheat. I'm going to try and force it through with a wooden spoon. I should not have to do any of this. I shouldn't. Otherwise I'll just give up and put the whole lot in whether it's sifted or not. This is just bloody ridiculous. it's starting to go through bit by bit, so I'm going to I've got flour everywhere. It's a bloody pain. You know, the amount of hassle I go through for you guys just so that you can see things. It shouldn't have to be like this. I've done this many times in the past. I actually know what I'm bloody doing. That's what's so annoying. I can do this. I've done it many times. But not with stupid cameras and not with stupid equipment I haven't used for God knows how long or what for this purpose. Anyway. And I know why people don't buy cheap things, but never mind. It was good, this sieve was good for what I wanted it for, which was just to, you know, use as a colander to empty, you know, peas and things into. I'm going to force it through again with a wooden spoon. I should not have to do this, but... Or maybe this is just rubbish self-raising flour, I don't know. Why is it such a pig? This is why these days people just buy them, to be honest. And it's so much goddamn hassle to do it. I should not have to do this. And it's not how you're supposed to sift things. You're just meant to shake it. You're just meant to go like that, and it's meant to work. Sometimes I'll try and find the metal one. At least that worked. If it was going rusty. My patience is beginning to wear thin, I'm being honest, and I've had no problems with this in the past. Alright. There's a limit of how much I can be bothered to do, especially for you guys on camera. This is just to get the thing into the bowl, never mind when I actually get the thing into the bowl. And it's so annoying because I can easily do this, that's why it's so annoying. Good, it's going down at last. It's gradually going down. There's not so much in there now. It's all going through, finally. As I said, normally you're just meant to shake it in, so normally you're just meant to shake it like that. Okay, right, now after what seems like an eternity, I've finally got the self-raising flour and the baking powder in there. Now, I shouldn't do this, but because I've been shaking things everywhere, there's a possibility I may have lost some of the baking powder, so I'm going to put an extra teaspoon of baking powder in there. I shouldn't do this, but I'm just going to do this anyway, because some of it may have been shaken elsewhere. Right, so here's the bowl. Here's another teaspoon of baking powder, and that's gone straight in. I should have sifted it, but as it's baking powder, I just can't be bothered to sift it again. I just can't be bothered for 1 teaspoon. So, you know, I've just realised, especially as I think it probably won't make that much of a difference. Right, okay, now that's just, now, what I'm supposed to do, let's see. Right, now, oh my god, I don't know what's happened. Oh no, this is an absolute disaster. Right guys, I don't know what's been going on. But I thought I was recording earlier, but I wasn't, okay? Which makes it even goddamn worse. You've no idea what the hell I went through earlier, guys, okay? Right. What I've done is, on here, I weighed and sifted the flour and the baking powder, okay? And what I did record all this, but for some reason, oh, I don't know what's going on, I'll have to look into this later. Right? So it did look like it was actually doing something, okay? And I got the flour and the baking powder, which I sifted using this sieve, okay? And then I'm now breaking the eggs into the bowl. I was meant to do that first, but I'm actually doing it afterwards, okay? So I've now got 4 eggs in there, okay? I've got 4 eggs, and I've got the sifted flour and the baking powder, okay? Right, now, let's see. Now, what I'm going to do is, now I'm going to add the caster sugar in, okay? So what I'm going to do is, again, I've got to weigh it and put the bowl somewhere for now. Now, I'm going to weigh the caster sugar, and I can find where I put this stupid. This is bloody annoying. I can't finish this goddamn work. I've got it. Right, okay. Right, okay, right. I found it. So this is the scales again. And because I had problems with the scales last time, I'm again going to switch on the scales. Are you what? Are you joking? Why is this so tricky? Next time I'll just do this in the kitchen, it's easier. In fact, next time I probably won't even bother recording it, because it's so much hassle. Right, now I've got some caster sugar here, and I'm meant to put in about 225 grams of it, so sometimes I'm doing off camera because I said it's just too difficult last time when I tried to. It's about roughly a quarter of, it's actually a quarter of, it's roughly almost a quarter of a bag, so that's 530. I'm going to see. Right, so I'm going to just check this a minute, so that's 1,300. I'm just going to pour a lot of this into the bowl. That's roughly 1,300 at the moment. Oh, 467. This is probably about another 50. So I need about another 50 roughly, so I'm just going to guess it this time and see what happens when I pour it in here. So probably about another 25, so I'm just going to guess it, and I'm going to, wait a minute, yeah, it's a little bit over, but it'll do for now. I want to do it properly, but I can probably get it, I can probably scoop something out, so. Okay, right, so now I've got the caster sugar in, okay? Now, what I'm supposed to do is put some of the butter in. But what I'm going to do instead, which is not what they tell you to do, but it's what I'm going to do, okay, is I'm going to start mixing it already, now, okay? So I'm going to start mixing it and use a wooden spoon for this for some reason. You can do it with an electric whisk or you can use a wooden spoon, and I'm using a wooden spoon because they've told me to, okay? So I'm going to do this initially. Partly to use for a lot of them, so that some of the mixture's done. Then I will do the butter in a moment, okay? This is not what you're supposed to do, but it's what I'm doing, okay? You can see, look, some of the mixture, so I'm going to lift my apron up a minute and then start mixing it for you guys. Now, I'm going to put that aside for now. What I'm now going to do is get the two cake tins, okay? So I've got the two cake tins, right? And I'm now meant to grease them, okay? So what I'm going to do is I do actually here have some butter, and and I'm going to open it up. I'm using something called Kerrygold Pure Irish Butter. I know it's not British, it's Irish, but you can get British butter. I just happen to have used this in the past. Some of them talked about salted, unsalted. I was confused, so I just used this because I'd used this in the past, okay? Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little knob of butter, and I'm going to put it into each of the tins. And now I just rub it with my fingers, okay? I'm meant to grease it by just rubbing it with my fingers, okay? So rub my fingers all over it, so it's got to go all over and cover the cake tins, okay? Right, I think that's one tin done. Now I'll do the other tin. Right, okay. Now, I'm supposed to put 225 grams of margarine into the mixture, okay? Now, this packet has 250, so it's roughly about the right amount, okay? Anyway, and I'm going to just see how much is actually on here. So, how much is left after I've done what I've just done? It's ridiculous. Next time I'll just weigh everything in advance and just put the whole lot into a bowl and just say this is done earlier, but it defeats the whole point. What the hell is going on? This is ridiculous. Right, wait a minute, maybe it's because I haven't put it on this silly thing. Okay, wait a minute. Okay, so I've got to leave about... I'll take about... Okay, I'm going to cut some of the butter out and just see what that does. 216, right, so put a bit more of the butter back. Okay, that's it. So right, I haven't got much butter left, so I'm going to put that back, and the rest of it I'm going to put into this mixture. So I'm now going to put this small bit of butter in, this, wait a minute, this huge block of butter in. Seems a lot of butter. Just check. Yep. That's correct. So now I've only got this amount of butter left out of a whole block of butter, okay? As I said, it costs more to actually make them here than just to buy them already done. Which is why a lot of people don't bother anymore. But I've done this just for you guys, so you can see me doing some real cooking, okay? Now, I'm now going to mix the butter into the mixture, okay? So I'm going to squash the butter down. You're supposed to, as I said earlier, have actually mixed it all separately, but I'm going to... But I've done the butter afterwards just because it was probably going to be easier for me, okay? I'm going to regret saying that, but there you go. I'm going to take the headphones off because it's getting annoying. Right guys, I thought I was recording but I wasn't. This is an absolute disaster from a recording perspective. Right? What I just did... was I just poured the... I'll do it again for you guys just to show you, okay? Right, now, once it's done, it's supposed to be able to, it's supposed to drip off the spoon, okay? Now, I'm now going to, again, pour that into the cake tins, okay? As I said, I put it into 2 cake tins, okay? You absolute pig. So now put, and you're meant to do it evenly, so you've got half in one tin, half in the other tin, and now I'm going to use a knife to flatten the top down, okay? Honestly, I'm sure this is a disaster, but I'm not used to filming it. I have cooked this many times in the past, but not while in a bedroom and not while trying to film it, okay? So it will look like a complete disaster compared to what I would normally do. Right? It'll probably taste awful as well. But never mind. Right, now these are ready to go into the oven, okay? Oh, I do have a little spoon as well. I should have used the metal one probably. Okay. Right, and so now this is meant to go in the oven for about 25 minutes. And then I will take it out the oven, put some jam in the middle, and sprinkle it with icing sugar. On the Mary Berry's version, it tells you to use caster sugar, but Delia Smith's version tells you to use icing sugar. So I'm going to pinch the idea from Delia Smith and use icing sugar, okay? So right, guys, so now I'm going to put these into the oven, okay? Right, so I'll see you in about 25 minutes, okay? Hello guys, I've now just taken it out of the oven, okay? So, basically, what you do, I've actually left it to cool a while, so you wouldn't normally do this with your hands, okay? I've left them to cool a while, okay? So you then get a spatula, and you go around the outside. I did it earlier, downstairs, okay? But you go around the outside with a spatula, going all the way around the edge, okay? And then you try and scoop from underneath to try and loosen it out, okay? So it will come out, okay? Now, and you do that with both of them, okay? And then what you do, once you've, it's cooled down a bit, I'm going to put it onto this cooling rack, okay? Now this is a special thing called a cooling rack, okay? And I'm going to turn the cake upside down, and hopefully it will come out, okay? And this is a cake, okay? Right, and I'm going to do the other one. I'm just going to scoop some of the bits in the middle onto here. And I'm going to do the other one as well. I'm sure I'm going to regret this actually, but never mind. I said I have in the past done this many times, but not under these conditions. Okay, and that's what it looks like now it's on the cooling rack, okay? And now I wait for it to completely cool. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some jam in the middle. I'm going to put this on top of there. Hopefully it will do it. Hopefully. And then I'll put some icing sugar on top, okay? Right, so see you soon when it's cooled down, okay? Okay guys, now it's cool enough, okay? So now, hopefully, I'm going to try and put one of these cakes onto this. That's onto the plate. Now, I'm going to spread this with strawberry jam. So, I've got some strawberry jam here. Open it. I'm just going to put a lot of strawberry jam in the middle initially, then I'm going to spread it, okay? Not sure if that's enough, but we'll see in a moment. So there you'll see some strawberry jam in the middle. I'm now going to try and spread that. Okay, it doesn't look like there's enough, so you need apparently a lot of strawberry jam, so I'll put some more in a minute. Hopefully that should be enough now. So now I'm going to try and spread it again. I'd have to be careful because otherwise it will fall over everywhere. For the purposes of this, I'm now going to assume it's enough strawberry jam. And now what I'm going to try and do is I'm trying to go and try and get the top from here and put it onto here, which is very easy when you're not trying to refilm things, but you know, when you're trying to film things, I'm sure it's going to be a complete disaster, as I'm trying to, you know, I'm wearing a headset and God knows what else is happening. So okay, but I've a nasty feeling this is going to be a total disaster, and I've probably picked the wrong one to turn it over. Just a minute. Yeah, it's an absolute bloody disaster. I've picked the wrong one to turn over. Never mind. Right, this is some of it. So I've put some of it like that. Okay. I'm going to get the other bit. It shouldn't be like this, but it's an absolute pig. I should have put the other one on as the base, but I didn't know. Normally it comes out perfectly, but if anything can go wrong when you're filming, it will. Unfortunately. So there you go. Okay, I know it doesn't look perfect, so what I'm going to try and do is I'm going to try and salvage this in some way if I can. So I'm going to see if I can turn this upside down onto a different plate, and then I'm going to try and see if I can just slide it off onto the other plate. The only reason why I'm doing this is because this side looks better, okay? And just say it's now got the strawberry jam in the middle. Take my word for it, there's the strawberry jam, if you can see it. And there you go. Now, I'm going to put the icing sugar on top, guys, okay? So, I have here some icing sugar. As I said, in Mary Berry's recipe, she suggests caster sugar. Delia Smith prefers icing sugar. So I'm just going to sprinkle some icing sugar over the top, okay? I'm going to take this actually out of the tray because it doesn't need to be on the right, so I don't need the cooling rack there, so I can just put it on here for now. And now, I'm aware there's lots of bits of cake. on this baking tray. I'm using this baking tray. I didn't cook it on this baking tray, by the way. I just used that to stop things going everywhere. I only used the baking tray because I thought otherwise if I picked the plastic trays, it might burn the plastic tray if it was hot. Okay, so now I'm going to get some icing sugar. And I'm just going to try and sprinkle some of the icing sugar on, okay? A bit too much on the top, so I'm going to use my fingers to try and move some of that. I'll do some more sprinkling very slowly. And there you go, guys. Homemade Victoria sponge cake. Okay? Now, I'm aware there's some jam still on the knife, but it doesn't matter. I'm now going to cut it. There's a lot of jam here because there's a lot of jam still on the knife. And as they say, the proof of the pudding is in the eating. This is going to be the proof of the cake is going to be in the eating. So I'm now going to get it, a slice of this. There you go. That's a slice of Victoria sponge cake. I'm going to eat it. So there you go, guys. Homemade Victoria sponge cake, okay? As I said, I can probably do it better than this, but you know, it's difficult when you're trying to film things in a bedroom and other stuff. So that's for those of you that would like to see me do some real cooking. And because there's no controversial ingredients in it, I believe people of any religion can eat it, although I'm aware that vegans wouldn't eat it because it uses butter, okay? In this stated, Victoria sponge is a traditional British cake, okay? And I'm going to have another slice of it. There you go, guys. You can make this yourself. And I hope you do a better job than me, okay? Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.